It's just a swear word as well.
Problem. I know it's you.
Who wrote Denmark with me?
Everybody wrote Denmark.
It's you, right? You're the one.
Everybody wrote.
Everybody wrote Denmark.
Oh my God. Goodness.
I promise you, it's a body part. I promise you.
No, it's not.
I promise you it's a body
All right, so that's just a short video of a couple players playing Now's Hunt. So let's go to the speed run. So like I said, speed run is like the single player adaptation to it. You could play against the clock. Every single correct answer you give gives you 3 points. There is a word combo that acts as a score multiplier. So if you type words really quickly, you get to multiply your score. Every single correct answer you give gives you 3 extra seconds to the time. You start your game with 90 seconds and your game runs out or your game ends when your time is out. There are also lifelines at the bottom there, which I would go into later. But this is just a short video of how speedrun. Now, if you get a score in speedrun, you would love to flex it with your friends. Of course, sure, why not? So there is a leaderboard feature for both local and international setting. So as you can see, the best player in the world right now is a Huyu player from Kenya in our game. And the best player in Nigeria is Eche. So wherever you are in the world, you could rank yourself the best in the US, the best in Australia, best in Canada, it doesn't matter. So this is a leaderboard feature. And currently, right now, we have a couple of players competing every single day to try and climb to the top of those respective leaderboards. As you can see, there is a classroom feature locked at the end, and I will speak more on it at the end of the pitch. So Now's Hunt, the game's economy hinges on lifelines. Now, lifelines are where we would get in-app purchases happening and where we would drive revenue from Now's Hunt. So let's say you are playing the speed run and you want some time. So Time Machine adds about 10 seconds to your time when you click on it, so you get much more time to answer much more points. This costs Dash coins. We call them Dash coins in the game. You can see different packages at the bottom. The second lifeline is the autofill, which is used across speedrun and in the regular multiplayer. Say you are playing B and B for animals, and you can't really think of any animal right now, even if I know there's pretty much a lot, but you can't think of it. So you could click the autofill, and autofill suggests an answer from our database for you. And if you don't like that answer, you can always click it again. Now, autofill costs 1 pencil. Pencils are like rare commodities in Now's Hunt, and they work like gems. And time freeze is another speedrun lifeline that freezes your clock in place for 15 seconds without interrupting your word combos. So these are lifelines that players can click on and use and drive monetization in the game. Currently, Now's Hunt is released on, like I said, on App Store and Play Store, is available for free on Android and iOS. We have about 1,500 players on our open beta. Open beta has been available since the 1st of April this year and is rated about 4.6 on average. This is just a traction that we've done to build the open beta to where we are. We've raised $7,000 from our family and friends. Within 9 hours after we launched, Now's Hunt rose up to the top 12 word game in the region. And we're currently boasting engagement of about 170% daily active users over monthly active users, with about 40% retention. Our game is played in over 20 countries. We get a lot of reviews every day from Iran, from the USA, from India, from China. And it's so surprising because everybody in the world, and we didn't know this when we started the project, but everyone in the world calls it name, animal, place, and thing. And that was amazing. And everybody said, we always play categories every single day. So this is absolutely fantastic that we have this on our phone. So we get a lot of reviews around the world. We're currently partnering with Ziggo Cloud to drive the audio chat feature in the game during the multiplayer games. We're partnered with Xbox, and we're partnered with Gamer for esports planning. These are just a couple highlights that we've done. So last year, right before we pitched, at the Global Games Pitch last year, we won Fan Favorite Game. We were nominated for the Black Tech Achievement Award in London in March. That was myself. We secured 2 back page publishers on Nigeria's leading newspaper in May. We were voted as top 10 fast-growing startups. We've collaborated with the government to integrate gaming into the BRT or bus rapid transit experience. And just last month, we won Africa Communicates Act Pitch in the best mobile game. And just recently, we were also nominated for the debut of the year by Games Industry Africa. So I've said a lot of things on this pitch. So this is the way forward. This is what we are trying to do. So we're trying to raise 300,000 at SAFE in our current pre-seed round. And Nouns is absolutely amazing, but a lot of the words that we got it manually. And that is not sustainable, especially since over 80% of the world does not speak English. And all our words are in English, but over 92% of the world uses mobile phones. And a lot of them have heard about name, animal, place, and thing. So we need to create an algorithm that could allow people and even non-English speakers to enjoy nouns hunts. And that's what we're currently working with. We're trying to work and create a chat GPT API that would allow us, or a GPT-4 API that would allow us to integrate that into nouns hunt. So we don't need to manually find the words, so that if you're speaking whatever language, wherever you are, like for example, there is a category called popular boys' names, and it's just in English. That is very secluded. We want to expand now something. We want everybody around the world to enjoy it. So that's one of the ways that this funding would go into. We need to also, if you download the game, you will see public and you will see privates. Now, the private part of the game, only 20 players can play. But what if you don't have friends? What if you just want to jump on the game and play online around the world? We're currently working on developing public mode that will allow you to just open Nouns Hunt and jump on any online game. So for that to happen, we need to upgrade our software and our infrastructure and our server to allow up to 100 players play in the same waiting area or in the same lobby at the same time. And then we need to develop our 2D and 3D animations to make the game totally ready for release. And why do I say 2D and 3D animations? Nouns Hunt will have a special feature 6 months after launch, which is Nouns Hunt the story, which every episode will be aired on YouTube, which tells the story of a couple kids. So what we would do in each of these episodes is that we would take everyday small games, and we'll place them in large sets. And then there will be a word of the season or a nouns of the season. We get kids involved, we get everyone involved in the game. So there is a long way to go. And that's what we're looking for. We are much more focused on investments. And we're trying to get this out into the world. And I know that if you're listening to this pitch deck, this is a game that you resonate with. And I would like to invite you to play Nouns Hunt with us. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, John, very much. That's amazing. And first of all, I would like to mention that like the style and sound, that's very cool. Thank you. Okay, so now I would like to, first of all, I would like to introduce you our mentor of this next session, Arijit Bhattacharya, a serial entrepreneur and mentor, founder and CEO at virtualinfocom. So Arijit, could you please briefly introduce yourself before giving a feedback and asking questions, John questions? Thank you.
For sure. Aina, thank you for the beautiful introduction. Regarding my brief, I'm a serial entrepreneur, started India's one of the first game development company called virtualinfocom in 1998. Started taking real life actor and actress to become the game character in the year of 2006 onwards. Created game universe in our categories, and created India's first superhero called Shaktiman from the TV series with real actors. Around 350 plus actor and actress we took as a character. Eventually, we started a platform for funding. So we started a accelerator called Co-Innovate Ventures. So and we fund the early stage startups and sometimes the growth stage startups to grow, just to have a you can say good business together. I sit as a board of advisor into several different universities, which includes IIT, IIM, NIT, and a couple of others like Mazan University in Oman. Try to help them with latest generation technology and finance, along with a few bit of study level upgradation on the syllabus, which connects with the industry. And I'm the national jury for our Government of India's Startup India Award, which is running by our Prime Minister's office. And proudly, I'm founder of World Leader Summit, which is like 97 plus countries network. As a mentor, I have been mentoring since 2008 onwards, because I feel that giving back is one of the beautiful things that you can do. And happy to hear, happy to help you guys if I can add some value, whether that is updating your pitch deck, updating the business model, updating your financial structure, or probably connect you with the right kind of investors. And sometimes if it match with our structure, maybe fund. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, and feel free to ask any questions regarding the previous pitch deck, please.
Sure. John, I was actually looking that your deck is there in the link. I was studying it and it's an amazing pitch. Great work. Super cool voice recognition system. But I have one basic understanding which I really need to understand. You want to raise capital for SAFE. What is the main reason? Do you have any specific structure for it, or have you thought of diluting equity, creating valuation, or is just that it's coming out of your own mind?
Oh no, we have an entire financial structure. We work with one of my co-founders, Ephraim, that I spoke about, the one pursuing an MBA currently at UC Berkeley. So he created this financial structure for us. We are valued, our current valuation is 3.5 million post-money valuation, and we're trying to raise 300K at SAFE because we believe there are a lot of structures that we need to put in place for us to make sure that investor money, is processed properly. So we feel that the best way to make sure that, to prevent like a lot of, let's just say, to make it lengthy or to make the process simpler, SAFE just seems like the easiest way to make that happen.
Okay. A quick feedback. If you are evaluating your company like $3.5 million, how did you come up with this number? What is your present revenue? I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Okay.
How much?
So we're pre revenue right now. So the valuation was gotten of future potential revenue. It was gotten of the IP, the value of the IP, as well as some other factors as well in the estimate. It's a large document. I could always share it. That's totally fine.
I'm sure. Quick session. I'm not sure if you know that the world financial situation, 2024, hopefully we will see recession very soon. So if you are watching recession, and if you look at the valuation model, that is a very global structured model, I'm sure that you are pitching to lot many funds. Personally, my suggestion would be have a look at your valuation model. The rest of the things are all fine until unless you have applied for some patent and your product is patentable, which I don't know. I personally feel that you're overvaluating. It will be very difficult to raise capital in such stages. One quick input, if you can get several different educational institutes as your partner, your valuation would become stable. At the moment, you have 1,500 users. I'm sure that you are going to grow like leaps and bounds like anything. You'll be creating a great community. I'm sure about that. But unless you are making a stable money, with that kind of valuation, it will be very difficult because in the initial stage, even though if you get an investor, the second line of Series A or Series B would be a bit challenging for you to manage. When your valuation in initial time is really high, and then you're going for the second Series A or Series B, that becomes really challenging to optimize, right?
Okay.
So that's point number 2. Point number 3, I loved your concept of game, but can it be done a little bit of localized? Like I'm not sure. I was watching your entire video, but do you have any integration on different kind of language in terms of countries like India, places like Southeast Asia, or probably few bit of places in Europe that can bring a lot of users? Trust me on this, a lot of users, people who if you look at India, India is like every state is a different country, to be very honest. Like if you
Yeah.
start traveling from northern part of India, go towards south, you will find out 56 active different language that we speak, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a localization service, it will be great to connect lot many people because your age group starts from 5 onwards, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that can connect a lot of kids, and it will be interesting to monetize, because if you have an educational institute, probably a school, to come up as your partner, it increases your value, including the monetization methods. So I would love to understand your thoughts on that, if you can.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I spoke about at the end of the pitch. I said about 85% of the world does not speak English. So it would be absolutely limiting our markets to just create a couple words in English. So, like I said, our team were working on a GPT model. It's almost everything, all the words we got here were manual. And we just felt it's not scalable to keep getting every single word manually all across the line to the end of time. So we found that we asked and we said that there has to be a way for us to create a model that scrapes the web for words or for names of animals or local names that is peculiar to one particular place. Like, for example, if there is a category called popular boys names, and if a local Indian, like you said, writes his local name, it would be wrong. And once that happens, he just feels the game wasn't made for him, and he would get really pissed off and probably close the game and move on. So when we saw that happen, we said it doesn't make any sense for us to just make it an English first game when it is a game that is played and enjoyed by everyone in the world. So it's just one of the reasons why we're looking for funding. And yes, of course, it's a very important aspect to us to make sure that we include as many people as possible.
Have you ever heard about linguistic study? It is there in almost every government, every ministry. If not, I would love to connect you with Indian linguistic study. I know the Vice Chancellor very well. He knows me very well. I can always do a soft introduction between two of you.
Okay.
Government offices in India is a little bit of slow by working, but when that happens, it happens really great. If you need those
Alright.
connection, probably these guys can help you a lot. And then I know few bit of people who are there in Middle East and in Southeast Asia. I can definitely connect you if that helps, probably with some API integration. I'm not sure about your technology, but if that is there, if the possibilities are there, probably that can solve your issue. Is it fine?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. I would love that.
I'm sorry, very sorry for interrupting you. Unfortunately, we don't have time anymore. So, John, could you please contact Avijit after the global game speech? And I'm pretty sure that you can ask more questions and get more answers. Okay, John, thank you very much for your pitch. Wishing you all the best in making your project a big hit. So, thank you for joining us. Have a good one for today.
All right, no problem. I've requested for your email in the chat. That's okay.
It's already there with you.
All right,
Awesome.
thank you.
Awesome. So thank you very much. Okay, so let's move on to our next game. This game is called Primal Force Arena, developed by a team from Ghana. And Kevin is going to tell us more and actually present his speech. So, John, let me just... Okay, so we can hear you. Awesome. But can't see you, unfortunately, yet.
All right.
Oh,
So
you're
greetings,
there.
everyone.
Hi. Hello.
Yes. Okay, and thank you very much for this opportunity to be here today. And we really want to thank you all, everyone here, for the work that you achieve for the industry, rise, and everything. So yes, shall we proceed? Oh, all right.
Yes, of course. Sorry, you can share your screen and with your presentation, please.
Awesome. Okay. So
I also would like to remind you that you have 8 minutes for a pitch. Thank you.
all right, no problem. All right. So please, can you right now see it?
Yes, we can see your screen. Yes.
All right. Perfect.
Oh,
All right.
sorry. Now,
So,
now, now, yeah. Now we can see it. Sorry.
okay, great. So thank you very much and welcome to Primal Force Arena. Primal Force Arena is a sci-fi online PvP strategy game where players incarnate powerful characters known as primal masters and fight in the arena with other players worldwide for glory, honor, and the primal king throne. So Primal Force Arena initially has for the first pride to offer a brand new gameplay concept that has never been seen before, which is a mix of smart strategy, action, and tactics. We currently have over 50,000 combinations that players can explore and test offline or online with people just to enjoy. And also, as feature that has to come, we also have, as you can see, the equipment upgrade system, characters customizations, daily missions, achievement, limited time event, and worthy reward. So Primal Force Arena is currently in development, but as I said, it is a smart mix of action, strategy, and RPG. So the goal behind this game is to allow players to be able to express their creativity and convert it into the capacity to fight their opponents on a board. As main target audience, we plan on deploying the game on mobile, which is currently on Google Play Store, but not yet on App Store. And for the future platforms, I mean, we will probably be reaching out to PC and maybe Nintendo. So what is Primal Force Arena for? I mean, Primal Force Arena is for everyone who's able to count and understand logic games because this game is yes, because this game is here just to allow us to unleash our creativity. It's based on the root of a tic-tac-toe game. We have currently a trailer that you can easily check on our YouTube channel, and you can even try the game itself, which is currently on the Google Play Store. So, but before all that, let's have a quick insight over the gameplay itself. All right. So, what is
Try to move it.
okay? So, I guess let me try to share this specific screen because it's having all right. Okay. Okay. So, as I was saying, in Primal Force Arena, players are given the opportunity to select their characters, make up their strategies across more than 50,000 combinations possible, and then reach out to the arena to fight opponents. Let me adjust this. All right, so the game logic is simple. It's made up of 8 round battles where players have to confront each others. At the end of this at the end of these 8 round battles, the player having the more HP is the winner. And each round over here is made up of 2 phases. The first phase is the unit selection phase, where you can check your opponent informations and be able to prevent their incoming plans and also select your unit to deploy on the board. Then the second phase of the battle is the deployment itself, where players are called now to use their units, their selected unit on the board smartly in order to make powerful combinations and lead their strategy to victory. So in Primal Force Arena, you need to be able to anticipate your opponent moves. You need to also master the board placement and use your skills at the right time, I mean, to be able to win. So that's all right. So just to get back to the game, this was a quick gameplay video so that we can all have a look at it and see what the game logic is about. So as I was saying, um, our timeline projection over here is I'd say based on a year of work, because this is particularly made up without taking in mind any funding moment, because right now we are a two-member team and we are working based on our current pace, which is a 1 week work allocated to the project by month. Afterwards, we have to get back to our living and life balance and building. So right now, we are at the first part of our timeline projection because Primal Force Arena was born in this year, I mean, in February. And we are right now from in the October, December work span, where the goal is actually to be done with the gameplay mechanics, to be okay with the first characters that we need to implement before we can now move to the user login system, achievement, daily missions, and so yes, and so forth. So the timeline projection will be done normally in November, December of 2024 based on our current momentum, but it will also be really increased if we happen to get some funding just as kind of accelerations possibilities. So
Kevin,
the budget over here.
I'm sorry for interrupting you. Unfortunately, we don't have time anymore. Could you please focus on the most important part? Because like we don't have
Okay.
time for questions already.
All right, sure. All right,
Sorry.
all right. So let me just wrap up. So, okay, so the team which is currently working on this project is in Ghana Games, which is a nascent independent African game development startup with the goal. Oh, sorry, I clicked the thing over here. Just 'cause I didn't fit. All right, so with the goal to like value the African gaming by just not creating African games, but creating games that can help people learn while playing and also value the game throughout the world so that everybody can enjoy them. And as I said, we are currently a two-member teams over here working on it. So thank you very much for the time given, and we hope you spend a good time. Thank you so much for it.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank
Thank you for your pitch presentation. That was very interesting. Erijit, could you please give us a brief feedback? Unfortunately, we don't have that much time for many questions. But yeah, absolutely, we are waiting for your valuable feedback.
Thank you so much for the lovely presentation, Kevin and your
Thank
friend. Well, quick two inputs. First of all, when you pitch learn how to pitch very, very brief. I think you had 7 minutes. So like try to put things one, why you are different, two, what you are looking for, three, what you need from the community. So I think if you can next time come and pitch, you should at least follow that. Quick another input regarding your game. Looks really amazing. Graphics are really cool, really good. Uh, just a quick suggestion. Can we take a couple of demigod of Africa? Example, if you look at the African demigods, they're pretty popular and a lot of people don't know about them. If we look at Greek, if we look at India, if we look at probably Peru, people know their name, right? They know their power, they know their activities. So when you are creating such kind of game which combines RPG, storyline, and couple of powers, which is superpower, why don't you think on that and make it popular? I think you will get a lot of traction in that way. And your game can become a unique game coming from directly from Africa. You guys are from Ghana, right? Yes,
No, we are currently Ivorian, but we stay in Ghana for now.
super. I think you should look at the old scriptures. Don't go with Google data. There are so this is one of my core area. But if you can just take a deep look into your demigod and the god and goddess, you will find out a lot of interesting stories. Try to incorporate that in your game. It will become really amazing. With shortage of time, I think this is the most beautiful input that I can give you guys because I didn't see your actual financial model or the structure, so unable to give feedback on that. But good work, guys. Like with 2 people team, amazing work.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Erijit, for your valuable feedback. Thank you, guys, for pitching your game. We wish you best luck with your project. Enjoy the rest of the global game speech. Okay, so let me introduce you our next game. So the game is developed by a team from United States. We are going to hear the speech from Francis, and the game name is GAMMA Force. So Francis, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Awesome, we
you.
can hear you too. Yeah.
Happy to be here, and I will share my screen.
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay. I'm just getting a message. I cannot start screen share while the other participant is sharing. So with
yeah, just
here we go. We're good.
Okay, awesome.
And
Sorry
can
about
you?
that.
Okay, I think I can do it now. Okay.
Awesome. So we
And
can
can everyone see my screen okay? And
Yes.
hear me? All right, great. Well, thank you. Well, it's great to be back here. I'm delighted. My company is Far Vision Studios. Our game is Gamma Force, which stands for Global Allied Military Mobilization Agency. And as you may be able to tell by the title, it is an action sci-fi game that is in progress. We're working on our beta release, and we are pre-revenue. Our game is going to be a mobile for iOS and Android. We originally prototyped in Buildbox and then moved over to developing our beta release in Unity. It's a side-scrolling shooter, single player, male or female hero character selection. As you can see by the visuals, as I mentioned, science fiction, action, adventure genre. And we have, what's unique with our visuals is their retro style art and visuals, kind of reminiscent of comic books, the older science fiction features that in movies and TV. Our in-game features include power-ups, in-game rewards, coins, and a leaderboard. Our monetization model is free to play with the option to remove ads. Right now we're looking at that would be 99 cents. We also have a store within the game. You can obtain power packs and weapons. There are also in-game rewards, and we will have a link in the game to our website, which has a store on that for the purchase of branded products. We're looking at right now connecting to Printful, so that a lot of the graphics that you see can also be purchased on products in the store. But of course, the focus is around the gameplay. And it's basically action-centered gameplay on the go. Being a mobile game, players can enjoy short bursts of gameplay, have fun with it, and keep moving along in the game. Free the future is our slogan, because this game is based on original intellectual property, which again was inspired by just our thrill of fan immersion into science fiction. I've just always loved this, and I actually created this concept with my late mother. We're both artists, and got her involved in science fiction. And that's what really inspired some discussions and ideas, and we ended up creating a story, script, and concept sketches. The story centers on an epic battle between humans and their non-human allies, battling evil alien invaders intent on conquering Earth. Each of our characters that we created in our story has unique qualities, special powers, and a compelling backstory. The settings are on different planets, goes across multiple universes, and involves time travel as well. We've identified our target audience segments, our key demographics for this type of story. Our primary consumers we're looking at are male gamers. Some research was fortunately done for us through one of our state's universities, and we've identified our 60, as you can see, 60% of our potential market is between the ages of 13 and 34. 63% of comics and graphic novels are purchased by men, 37% by women. And this is what this game is really modeled on. Comics and graphic novels are based on our own love of the adventure of this genre. Right now, in terms of mobile gaming, we do have a majority of mobile gamers in the US who are men. We do have a somewhat smaller group that are women, but not too bad. It's still at 42.3%. 78% of superhero enthusiasts right now are men, but we have our strong female character, and we are really hoping in our marketing that we can start moving more women over into this. Obviously, I don't have to cite that entertainment does feature women superheroes, and we really feel that we can appeal to a broad group of players. And again, once we've identified our primary user profiles as youth, young adults, and adults. Now, we did do our own survey when we started this project. We've also shown an early prototype at local games conferences. We did find players between 12 through over 60 years interested in it. So we feel we have a good, strong potential market. Our selling proposition is that we're going to be delivering challenging mobile gaming fun on the go. The game is interactive, it's evolving. It offers a storyline. We have comic panels in the game, telling a little bit about our story. Our characters are dynamic and escalating challenges. And again, we're mirroring that appeal of sci-fi comic books and superheroes. And the game we find has aligned with a lot of cultural trends that are still very, very strong in this genre of superheroes and science fiction adventure. And of course, the mobile gaming market is significantly expanding. The latest report from Newzoo notes mobile gaming is the most popular type among all ages. We have our new build in progress. We are hoping to get a video ready in the near future because we've updated since some of you may have seen this at the last conference. We've updated a lot of our user interface, a lot more gameplay we've added to characters. You can see this character here. Our hero is kind of rolling to get out of the way of the alien. He jumps and he turns. And we're hoping to deliver exciting challenges and actions to players. This is also a shot of what our store is looking like right now. So where we're offering various purchase packs. Being a unique IP, we are hoping to offer in the future the ability to connect players with gameplay and licensed products. As you can see right here, we actually did 2 prototypes of our main hero and our main super villain, and also have mocked up some product designs. But we're hoping in the future that during gameplay, people can receive points to perhaps buy a product, or if they buy a product, they can scan, there'll be a label with a scan code and they can scan it and download the game. And I've actually had some interest in that area through the licensing industry and some preliminary discussion. As we know, the global gaming and licensing industries connect brands with consumers. You and can allow product interactions. When you start connecting a fun game and then start bringing to life products around the game, there's just so much we can do with it, and make it a more immersive experience for people that like this type of property and would enjoy it. Our toys and action figures really would be modeled on our characters and enemies. Our enemies also have very compelling backstories as well, where they're coming from in the story. We can look at in-game attire, and we're hoping to have an online and eventually hard copy comics. It was noted by Licensing International, of which we're a member, their 8th global industry study showed explosive sales growth in licensed merchandise. So where are we going right now? This is our high-level roadmap. Right now, the beta release is in progress. We can release it ourselves. We've been bootstrapping all along with this project. We're hoping to achieve in phase 1 downloads and build a player community. And this is all now in progress. We're going to be establishing social media sites to align with the demographics of potential players initially. We're going to have pre and post launch email blasts, obviously app store optimization and events. We're really hoping to grow our online presence through promotions and interactions with the characters on social media. We'd like them to speak for themselves and talk about the gameplay, because again, they all have stories. They all have stories and want people to know about them. And we would like to try to raise awareness of the products for purchase from the website. Phase 2 is achieving strong retention rates. If we can achieve enough sales and potential funding for release 2, we would really like to add new characters, 3 superheroes, 3 arch villains at least 3 stages, each with 5 levels and increased challenges. Obviously, add more in-game rewards, more fun, more in-app purchases, power-ups, weapons, and then expand our marketing program and include opportunities for players to get limited edition merchandise. And we'd like to start localization planning for future development. We'd like to see what other languages can we offer, what markets can we do, how can we even get the players more involved in the game itself. Phase 3 is obviously further off. We'd like to be able to offer it on platforms, continue on mobile, offer on at least one platform. For example, we've been looking at Roblox, Skills, initiate planning for release on at least one console if that's feasible, implement the first stage of the localization plan and continue to expand the marketing program and merchandise offerings. We have had ongoing interest from the licensing community. And of course, our vision really emphasizes continuous improvement through player feedback, quality management, and data analysis. Right now, our budget requirements, which we've just formulated, what we believe would help us really get effectively launched. If we are able to get funding soon, we would, for the beta release, like to allocate $25,000 for post-launch development updates and another $25,000 for additional marketing. We are still going to release and establish our social media presence, our community. We're still going to do it regardless of funding, but we still, an extra boost would still help at this point. The rest of the funding, we are looking for a total to start of $500,000. So the rest, $450,000, would be for the release to development, $250,000, $150,000 for marketing and limited edition merchandise, and $50,000 for operating expenses such as software, some new hardware, and also some legal, because we are an IP and there is copywriting expenses involved. We would have to add our new superheroes and arch villains, ensure we have copyrights before publicly revealing them. Our team, as I mentioned, my mother sadly passed away. She was a well-known New York City fashion designer and teacher. I have been an artist, designer, had my own graphic arts and printing company, then went into IT, project and program management, and we both blended our backgrounds into this project. My son Nate Burba is a co-founder of Servios and now co-founder and head of Refactor Games. He specializing in video games. And my husband, who has been my technology director and helping us along with this project, has an extensive background in programming, data analytics, IT, and engineering, and also project and business management. Our extended team, our development partner is Altruistic Gaming. They have been working through this beta release, and they originally ported our game from Buildbox to Unity. Novi Unlimiting, our marketing and advisors, and provide testing services. As we do each build, we test. And obviously we have a legal partner. We're members of Propellant Startup Accelerator, who have been providing a lot of mentorship and helping us structure what we're doing, and moving along as a company. And we have our accountant bookkeeping services obviously needed. And then we've been fortunate to have additional assistance through the U.S. Small Business Administration in different groups. Thank you very much all for your time. Really appreciate being here.
Thank you, Francine, very much for your lovely presentation and your pitch. Erijit, please, could you ask any questions you have and share your feedback?
Sure. Beautiful presentation. I really love those superheroes. This is close to my heart. When I was in class 6 standard, I started creating comic books, and then eventually floated the company when I was only 16, 17 years old. And we started making superheroes. I understand the licensing process you are talking. Just a quick feedback, if you don't mind. Don't you feel that the entire game UI and graphics, we need to improvise a little bit, probably for the new generation? And then I have another quick input to give you. Can we have probably a mechanism of business where you have your character in the real life, like the 3D printing character that you have done? I don't know if you have done that in 3D printing or any other methods. Whatever maybe the real life printing segment, can you create a business method where if anybody is buying that particular toy, it can be the hero or maybe the villain, they can play this game in augmented reality. What will happen? You can connect them with a lot of different monetization methods, and you can then bring the brands inside your game to put in ads. That becomes a platform for them to connect with several different users in your community. I don't know about your community size at the moment because it was probably I missed that. I don't know. But if you have a large community, like probably maybe a million above, that attracts a lot of brands to give sponsorship. So instead of funding, that becomes maybe your great monetization methods. Just a quick thought. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. They're excellent feedback. And my son actually helped founded an AR company, Servios. So we have hope that, and I'll add that to the roadmap. It's certainly in the future, but we would that was really what we're hoping eventually, to have a very immersive environment for that kind of game. It could be really a lot of fun, but obviously there's a lot involved in that. So we're trying to get started in the way that we were able to bootstrap and then move forward with that.
Okay, and if it is okay, can you please share your pitch deck with your financial projections? I will keep my email for everybody so that everyone can have it. I would love to give my inputs over there. Maximum times when you are looking for money, that helps the most.
Certainly, thank you very much.
But please keep the organizers in the loop so that when I give the feedback, it goes to everyone. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your pitch and for joining us this time. So we wish you a good luck with your project and have a good one for today.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're supposed to have a break, but it's only 2 minutes left. So let us just, I don't know, how do you feel, Arijit? Should we have a break, like 2 minutes break, or should we go on?
As you feel, I'm totally okay if you guys want to continue. It's completely fine.
Okay, as soon as we have here the next participant who is going to pitch his game, so let's move on to the next presentation. So please meet Vyacheslav Anishenko. As I can see, he's from United States, but from the first and last name, I can say that he's probably Ukrainian.
I'm from Odessa originally.
Okay, so yeah, so Slava Ukraini, first of all, and the game's name is Pirates Boom Boom, and Vyacheslav, please feel free to share your screen and pitch your game.
Before
Excellent.
you do that,
Yes.
my friend, I've been to Odessa. It's a beautiful place. I've been to Ukraine in 2018. It's an amazing country. In fact, one of the person, I call him as a brother. So he's from different mother actually, but I call his mom as my own mom. So it's a more connect of heart to heart rather than only pitching. Please continue.
That's very great.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity for the introduction. I appreciate it. So my name is Slavik Aye. I'm originally from Odessa. We, along with my partner, have developed the mobile game Pirates Boom Boom. So it's out now on iOS and Android. We've been out for a couple of months now. And we've gotten a really phenomenal, you could say, feedback from users. They like the game. Essentially, they want to have more. And we're here to pitch the game, showcase the game, and also to talk about the future of our expansions and what we want to do with the IP and the company. So I'm going to share my screen to present the deck. Share sound. There we go. So as you can see, it's a pretty fun looking action mobile shooter. I would say currently it has some elements of RPG elements such as talent trees and collectibles and special items. But right now the core of the game is arcade mode, which you're essentially traveling on the boat and shooting at different types of enemy ships and special ships. There's all kinds of things involved. It's pretty fun. It's very action driven, and I'll go a little more into that as we, as I present. Just one of the biggest things, we are in black and white. So that's one of the main defining characteristics of our game and our IP and this kind of universe. So this is Pirates Boom Boom.
Boom! Cannon upgrade. Pricey. Boom! Vintage shields. Costs a lot of booty. Boom! Espresso! Espresso! A brew fit for king. Boom! Famous skull. Costly. On the black market. Boom! Dinosaur denture. I traded for a fortune. Being a pirate is expensive, but on your mobile device, it's free. Pirates Boom Boom, be an eye-popping arcade shooter that'll make your heart race. Boom. Unlock talents, acquire special items, boom, uncover hidden treasure as you conquer 99 levels of absolute mayhem. So set sail, you scurvy dogs. Pirates Boom Boom, out now.
So I hope you liked our little commercial that we've done. We have a lot more gameplay footage and on YouTube, and quite a few websites reviewed our game. So I'd like to really talk about the visual style of the game, which is, I think, one of the most important things, especially in gaming. So the first thing is we haven't really seen any game with our visual style. Not only are we in black and white, but it's how we do black and white that kind of makes us very unique. So a lot of reviewers and users have picked up on that, and they really like what we're doing, which is great. I like the the fact that we're able to do a lot of hand-drawn stuff, which kind of allows us to make assets very quickly. So if you can see, our style revolves around black and white graphics and custom art directed lighting. So we don't really have to follow the rules of traditional game development in terms of lighting, in terms of dealing with color. We can bypass all that and create very kind of unique worlds and characters and situations. And that's, I think, one of the strengths of this IP is that we can make assets rather quickly, but they still look beautiful, they're still compelling, and they're very intriguing. The game modes. So the live game has the arcade mode, which is 1 to 99 levels of essentially it's mayhem. You're just shooting a lot of the enemy ships, different clans. You have bonus levels. It's pretty fun. It's pretty intense. Essentially, you're like Rambo. Just the more you shoot, the better you do. But the 99 levels have a variety to them, where there are different bottlenecks. You're getting talent points, you're getting items, and certain things you really need to succeed. One of the major things that we plan on doing now that we're live is adding our skins, which is different visuals options to customize your boat, flag, costume, all these other things, because that's essentially the core of the world and the graphics. So we want to really expand on something that we do really well and we're familiar with, and we obviously want to monetize all that. We do have a leaderboard that with 4 different modes that people compete on. And right now, currently, we're a freemium. Right now we're a free model, but we plan to switch to a freemium model with the next expansion. So we want to switch that once we incorporate story mode, which is going to come in the next patch. And story mode is something that we're super excited about because we started to do the research and development, and we're almost done with the first episode. And one of the great things about it is that it combines storytelling, quality of TV series, like kind of like Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, essentially any great TV series that you can think of, it takes a lot of the qualities of that and combines it with custom levels from the arcade mode. So you're experiencing the story and you're playing the story, and it's a very kind of unique approach that really focuses on our strength with our experience. And the way we and as you progress through the stories and as you finish stories, you actually earn items and characters, and you can take them back into the arcade mode and become more powerful and go beyond the 99 levels. And we plan to basically create either a pay per season model or a subscription model. And I think we'll switch to one when we have enough episodes in the story and enough seasons that will become financially feasible. And the last mode, which we see, is the PvP mode, where it's one-on-one action. It's a mix of strategy and shooter. So I would say it's the closest thing to playing the arcade level, plus playing like Magic the Gathering, where you're able to quickly dispense different cards with different enemy ships to create your own custom strategy. So I'd like to talk a bit more about story mode, because I feel like this is going to be the main element of the game that's going to be expanded probably the most, while the other modes are going to be there. I think this will be the core focus. And story mode, the goal is to monetize our strengths as developers. So Jack and I, our background is more in film, television, episodics, animated. And we want to capitalize on that strength, and we want users to keep coming back to play newer and newer stories as we release new seasons, new episodes, and so on. And essentially, this is kind of like what it looks like, but not fully. The goal here is to really focus on character development, which is something that's missing in a lot of video games right now. A lot of game stories are really plot heavy and with kind of predictable storylines, with factions taking sides and betrayal and so on. And our goal is to focus on the characters and to really tell fun stories in a really quick segments. So it's all narrated through Pirate's point of view, because he's kind of like a very interesting character. He has a very interesting outlook on life. And this way it allows us to integrate a lot of his humor, a lot of his quirkiness into the mix. And he essentially narrates the story that we write, and every illustration here is going to be kind of like a small animated GIF to really capture the each kind of paragraph as you go from page to page. And in between about every 6 pages, you get to a custom level where you have to play out, to advance into the next segment of the story. So as you can see, the images here are very fun. They they kind of have a lot to them. They are custom lit, but they tell they're very compelling. You want to just keep on looking at them, and that's essentially the goal of every one of the images. So a little bit.
Sorry for interrupting you. We still have only 5 minutes for the feedback and questions.
Okay, thank you. So just really quickly about our team. These are some of the projects that we've worked on. Jack has directed some episodes of Kung Fu Panda TV show. I'm sure a lot of these films are very well known, where Jack and I were key artists on actually dealing with visual storytelling. And Sean Hunt is our business advisor who's helping with growth and strategy. Current KPIs over 1 month. The game took us about a year to develop with a cost of 30,000. We spent about 5,000 on our organic growth, and the results are 3.1 impressions, but really the more important one is 7K downloads with 4,000 active users. And out of our current monetization system with ads, we've gotten 310 ads out of in 1 month out of the 4,000 active users. We got really great feedback. We have a great review, score on the reviews on the both stores, the Apple and Google stores. We actually won Game of the Week on Touch Arcade, and essentially the feedback has been really, really positive. Players just want more, so we're excited to give that to them. Use of funds, we're currently asking for $1 million. This is how we would be spending it, where 400,000, 40% will go to production over a 3-year period, where we would be doing the game development, mode expansions, and possibly start planning out the next game. This would be the marketing of 130,000 a year with our current marketing expert, where we would be focusing on organic, paid, and influencers. And 200K would go towards other operations and expansions. So this is the end of the presentation. This is a deck that's available on the website, and this is the contact. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you for your presentation. Edith, please feel free to ask your questions and share your feedback as usual.
Brilliant graphic work, and you have an excellent team, to be very honest, pretty opt for raising funds. One quick input, probably you can connect with few bit of storyline which is coming up from Southeast Asia that can connect your game to a different level altogether. You're creating a pirate level game. If you look at Singapore, it used to be a Singhal once upon a time, if you look at the history, back in history. I saw shurikens. You have probably used those elements in your game. So maybe connecting the Japanese pirates would create a little bit of different volume altogether. Now, let me give my small 2 cents about your funding strategy. Beautiful strategy. But I feel that if you are going for 600K as a total, like your 400K goes with your maybe development cost and 200K for operation and expenses, and the rest of the money you want to input for the marketing, I would rather ask you to do it in a different way. Probably you can put a rule called 60 and 40. 60 goes with branding, marketing, acquiring license, and going for IP development. And the 40 goes for operations and the strategy development, including travel and tourism. That attracts a lot of funds which are there in the gaming industry. Even though I'm sure that with the kind of work that you have done and the kind of user acquisition that you have at the moment, with the right kind of team that you have, I'm sure that you're gonna raise the fund very, very quickly. Even though if you need some amount of updation, little bit of tweak, little bit of maybe advice, I'm available. Feel free to reach. I'd be more than happy to update your deck and maybe the financial model. Not a problem on that. Feel free. I'm always do that as a pro bono mode because I love this. Is my blood became like this, like 25 years in this industry. So would love to help. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll take you up on that offer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Slavik, for your lovely presentation. And the game looks unique, as you said, and I want to say this as well. Thank you very much for the presentation. We wish you good luck and bye for now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Okay, so please meet our next game, which called Thieves in Elysium, developed by Canadian studio, and we are going to hear and see the speech presented by Kevin Williams. Kevin, can you please unmute your mic? Unfortunately, we can't hear you.
Oh, hey everyone.
Yeah, that's great. Great, awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'll share my screen.
Yeah, so please share your screen, and you have 8 minutes for your for presenting your pitch, and then we have 4 minutes for Q&A sessions and feedback.
Yeah, so I'm Kevin. I'm here to present a game called Thieves Elysium. So this is a social deduction game based on some puzzle elements. The setting is in Greek mythology, focused on the underworld and Elysium. We're targeting Android and iOS, and the game's currently in late production. I've been working on it part-time for about 3 years now. And then for core values, we're aiming to make it really easily accessible. This is probably one of the areas that this genre of game really struggles with. So yeah, the whole focus is really on easy accessibility and bringing in more players from a casual audience. Yeah, so a bit about the mechanics. Yeah, so each player will be giving clues. There'll be some outlaws and the innocent team, and the innocent team will be giving clues on who the outlaws will be. So the person who owns the town will be using those clues to try and figure out who those outlaws are and trying to arrest them before they escape after 2 nights. Do a quick screen share of some gameplay. Oh, where do I? Oh, maybe I can't switch the focus, so I'll just continue with the slides here. Okay, so a couple of the roles in the game. So we got the merchant, just to give, I'll read out a couple. So this one visits 3 nights or 3 rooms each night, and if any of them are among or are an outlaw among the rooms visited, the merchant will be arrested or they'll be robbed. This will gives the owner some information on those 3 rooms to know whether one of those 3 players is a potential outlaw. This game is also very position-based, so it works in a grid structure. So we have some roles that use that style. So the night watch will reveal if anybody is on the same floor, which, yeah, we have a grid structure of 4x4, so 16 rooms. And then, yeah, the outlaw will be, if it'll reveal a true or false if there is any outlaws on that same floor. These 2 at the bottom are some of the outlaw roles that can attack other players and try and lie and stay hidden. So yeah, there's not that many games within this genre, so the competitive space is pretty small. And the main, like most of these are all based off of the board games Werewolf and Mafia. But these are 2 of the biggest mobile and PC ports for this. Town of Salem being a popular one on Steam. So yeah, Town of Salem, it's a pretty successful game on Steam. It has some difficulty with pulling in new players and making it easily accessible. And then, yeah, focusing their IAP model is ads, skins, and they can have role selection, so you can pick which character you want to be in a game. And then, yeah, the second one is Wolfsville. This is more of a casual, focused more heavily on mobile. And this one's done quite well as well. So both of these games, there's definitely some room for improvement. There's some issues with this new player experience and bringing people into the game. You need a lot of pre-knowledge of what each of the roles do to try and figure out like what you're lying as. Most of them present a lot of their information through what players type out as text, which can make, especially on mobile, communication very difficult. Town of Salem had a big problem with this when they did their mobile port, and they haven't fixed this. So it becomes very difficult to type. They have a landscape view, which, yeah, it's very hard to read other people's texts and write your own text at the same time. And with all the communication happening over text, it's very easy to miss what people say for critical information. Yeah, and then for progression for these games, I find it's fairly limited. You can unlock new skins, and that's about it. So I found they've really struggled with just finding a financial model. Town of Salem 2 has switched between a premium and freemium model where you can get the base game for free and pay to unlock the full game. They also had one where they were just trying to support through IAP bundles and cosmetics. So they seem to be struggling to find more of a monetization strategy. Wolfsville, on the other hand, they use ads. They have more IAPs for cosmetics. Yeah. And some stats for them. So Town of Salem, they've been out. They've had Town of Salem 1 and 2. They've sold quite well for Town of Salem 1. Town of Salem 2 has just come out in August. Yeah, they've had over 100,000 downloads and successful, but I think they're struggling to have a successful live ops model. And Wolfsville, yeah, they're released in 2018. They have both web and mobile, and they have recently released on Steam as well. And they're doing quite well per month and have maintained a 60K for most months. So a bit of how Thieves of Elysium is meant to stand out in that crowd. Really, it's the focus of being more accessible. So shorter game sessions. The other games play until one team is completely eliminated. Mine is meant to just be played for 2 nights. So the nice part about this, it's better for mobile. If people are killed and eliminated, they don't have to wait long until the next game starts. For communication, instead of communicating through only text, the game UI really presents what an ability does, so you can just read it. Players aren't having to write out everything the game is telling them. So it'll handle everything for them, which will make it just much easier. You don't need that big background knowledge of what a role does. Otherwise, in these type of games, if somebody catches you and you don't have familiarity, they'll think you're on the outlaw team. So it becomes very difficult for a new player. And this UI should help that. You can even generate lies from the UI, so it'll automatically pretend to be a player of a different role. Yeah, and then I also have a tutorial and story mode. This will help with getting people familiar with the game. They're not having to jump into games with players immediately, and they can learn some of the roles. Benefit of that is I do have some AI and bots that can take over for some of the roles, and yeah, this should allow single player, and if anybody leaves, which is part of a problem in some of these genres, is you'll have players leave partway through. The AIs can cover for their ability usage and everything. Yes, also continuing, Thieves of Elysium, it's going to focus more on metagame progression. So you can unlock more things. It's not just cosmetics. There's a sense of progression. You have a town you can upgrade. There's buildings that can provide passive bonuses to the game. You can have a vault, which can prevent outlaws from stealing as much gold when they escape. You can have quarters, which helps the characters you do own recharge faster, so you can use them more often. So overall, it just gives more things to progress in the game, so each game has more impact outside of one isolated game, and it gives more things to monetize as well. So yeah, a bit about the monetization strategy. As I mentioned before, there's buildings you can pay to progress faster, buy gold to upgrade your buildings, which will provide some passive bonuses. There will be cosmetics, so you can decorate your character and your rooms, and you have to unlock the characters. So there will be a gacha system where you don't necessarily start with every character unlocked. You can roll for them on specific banners. There will be a couple ones that can be used for gold each week. And then if you want to do more than, say, 2 rolls per week, you have to use the premium currency. There will also be some ads. So we have a jail feature. So when you capture somebody, they would have to potentially watch an ad to reuse that character. So timeline and budget. As I mentioned earlier, been working on it part-time for about 3 years. And I'm expecting to have a market test within the first quarter next year. I'm looking at KPIs. What's the cost per install, retention rate for D1, D7. Yeah, I'm really looking to get some numbers for those values within the next quarter. Yeah, and I'm planning a full release after a market test 1 quarter after that, which should give me enough time to handle any balances between the different teams and any feedback or issues that might come up. So a big thing I'd be asking for funding would be localization. I've seen a lot of the other social deduction games, they actually perform quite well in non-English speaking languages. So I think localization would be a big benefit for the game to have options of coming out in multiple languages. I've got it set up so it's fairly easy to ship off and switch languages. Yeah, and otherwise for development cost, yeah, I've been comfortably working on it in my spare time with my artist. And so most of that funding would be looking at marketing. So for publishers, probably the Q1 test, it's a little early. I don't have those KPIs yet. But for a publisher, it could be good to have some level of connection early on before that to reach out to influencers on to get stronger market tests around that. And then coming to the full release would be when most of the market budget would be used. So a bit about the team. I'm the programmer of the game. I've been making mobile games for 6 years. The major one I'm currently working on is Live Ops for Hempire. And then working with my artist, she's been doing a great job overhauling the UI and really bringing it together. I think it's a nice, cute game that kind of fits that casual audience that we're aiming for. Yeah, and that's the presentation.
Thank you, Kevin, for your informative presentation. And now we have 3 more minutes for the feedback from Erijit and also some questions probably.
Kevin, a quick question. Do you have any kind of structure for your fund? For an example, you're looking for X amount of money and how you're gonna invest that? Is it possible to share any kind of Excel file format or anything that you have created so far?
Yeah, so far it's still in the works. I think the most successful way to market games like this would be reaching out to influencers. Like Among Us was the big one. They were kind of an obscure game for a while, and by being picked up by an influencer, that really catapulted them. So primary focus would be paying different influencers to do videos on the game, and then as a mobile game, trying some ad mod ads to get an idea of what the KPIs are for that audience.
Yeah, for these kind of game, what I can suggest to have 1 or 2 influencer as your co-founder in the co-founding team, and then dilute a little bit of equity of your studio. I believe that at the moment, your structure is more acting as an indie studio if you are making it as a part-time for last 3 years. So diluting that would actually yield to a better result, bringing a lot of traction, and it creates a good team as a team member to show in front of the investment team that you are trying to probably pitch your game. It can be a HNI angel investor. It can be a VC fund more focused on gaming. I know a few bit of funds which are there in US, definitely a couple of angel investors. Bringing those things would probably attract more focus from the investors. A quick feedback about the gameplay. It looks really, really cool. But maybe a toning down towards the mythological characterization and the lighting would probably give a better result. Because you're dealing with the Greek mythology, there is a fine line of color balance as well as lighting, which I have seen in some other games. Maybe you can have a look at them and maybe try to integrate that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Like the coin system that you're using, those coins are, sorry to say, but those coins are like today's coin. So if you try to integrate that, the better feelings comes. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the art is still, that's one of the major things that are still getting updated. But yeah, I think that's a good idea to update that, the lighting and everything within there to really highlight what's going on for those crimes.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Erji, do you have any more questions or that's all? That's all. Okay. So Kevin, thank you very much again for your presentation, for joining us. Hope to hear from you soon and enjoy the rest of the global game speech. I wanted to say you, but I realized that it's going to be the last speech now. So please, you're welcome for the second day tomorrow. And now we are moving to the last speech. So thank you, Kevin.
Yep, thank you.
Bye. Thanks. Okay, all right. So the last speech is going to be presented by the Ukrainian team. And as I know, we have two speakers now. So their names are Maxim and Konstantin, right? And the game's name is Match Machine. So Maxim, Konstantin, please share your screen, unmute your mics, and you're welcome with your presentation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Konstantin, and I will be serving as a presenter and as an interpreter for the Match Machine project. I'm joined here today by Max Haraja, who is the CEO and the game designer for the team. And after the presentation, hopefully he will be taking some questions, and I will try to interpret that. Now let me share my screen, and we can get started. Right? Can you see my screen? Awesome.
Yes, I can see the screen clearly.
Awesome. All right. So, if I tell you that we're all gathered here just to look at the new projects, interesting solutions, and beautiful designs, that wouldn't be entirely true, because the ultimate end goal for probably most people present is likely profit. That's why instead of starting to talk about our project, we'll start with how we came to the idea of making it. So first of all, we performed
Sorry, Constantine, I can't hear you. There is a...
Really? 1, 2, 3, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, first of all, we performed market research. We didn't want to create another match 3 puzzle like this and wrap it up in some new original meta, even though many companies continue profiting off of that. On the other hand, inventing an original know-how mechanic is quite a risky endeavor. So we were interested in the main question of how to find a relatively new and fresh gaming mechanic that attracted users and already established itself on the market. And we did find the answer. A project called Match 3D was released in 2020. It had an attractive mechanic with a low entry barrier that has quickly found its own niche. Even now, at this time, this project has quite respectable metrics, as you can see, and brings considerable profit. So then this game has been cloned by various companies inventing new mechanics, but in most cases using the exact same 3D assets bought for $20 somewhere. And all of them look quite similar to each other, and some of them also distort the main mechanic way too much, in our opinion. So according to the gaming market laws, the second wave in the genre was bound to come at some point, and so it did in April 22. Please pay attention to the metrics for that month. It has cemented our trust in this particular mechanic, and then we started analyzing these games. As our experience shows, in popular genres, the third, the fourth, and even the 10th wave sometimes can still be profitable. And the younger the wave, the more are your chances of success. So after dozens of hours of playing and deep analysis, we came to the following main conclusions. First, simple mechanic. So it can be slightly modified, but not much, because the game has to stay relatively simple and easy to understand. Then next one is other games had apparent problems with controlling the level difficulty, like level difficulty management was difficult to control, and had weak level balance. Some levels seemed boring, while others were a bit too difficult and clearly looked like paywalls, basically. The main problem of these games was absence of new in-game content and progressing in the game. Like with every next session, the game seemed more monotonous and mundane because what you're doing is you're doing the same thing all over again. And then the next point is that players get used to the items, to the objects via the visual memory. And then completing the levels for them with the same objects becomes much easier and more boring. Nevertheless, even despite the facts, apologies. Nevertheless, even despite what I just told you, these projects still continue to bring considerable profit. And as I said earlier, it's the ultimate goal for many of us. So, having drawn those conclusions, we started creating our own project, which would take the best from the competitors, but also would be noticeably better thanks to solving the problems that the competitors have. So it would have next-gen graphics, clear mechanics, but also great level difficulty control and exciting variety of game content. So in order to achieve that, we created our own 3D assets, which are qualitatively different from the competitors, and we think they will catch the attention of the whole niche. You can see them, some examples on the screen. Then we did keep the proven mechanics, and then we also slightly diversified them in order to decrease the monotone of the game within any given play session. So we strive to achieve this sort of feeling of diversity of every play session for a player. Then next, we developed a system of level difficulty control based on the mathematical model. So the same level can be completed easier or harder, depending on how far we hide the matching items from each other. Based on that system, we created another one, the system of individual difficulty. So the game will effectively adapt to the player. So for skilled players, the levels will become more difficult, and for casual players, they will become easier. So the game sort of automatically adapts to the player's skill level. And both of those systems are fully automated. And the only thing that we need to do is to set the percentage with which the players have to complete any given level. Next, we invented a production process that allows us to create new in-game content rapidly and in quality fashion. The player progresses from one chapter to another. Each of the chapters is dedicated to a certain theme, like you can see the chapter scrolling here. And switching to every next chapter gives the player fresh impressions again and the feeling of something new, as well as motivates them to keep moving forward. Besides, and this is very important, the gaming experience. With every new chapter, the gaming experience is sort of nullified to an extent. And in the new levels, the player has to search for entirely new objects which are not familiar to them, which fuels the interest in the game process and to continue playing, basically. Next, we have implemented all the features for the monetization of the free-to-play model. There are constant bonuses, there are level rewards, as seen here, boosters, and collections. So all those elements are already present in the game. As of this moment, the project has all the planned features implemented, and it's at the stage of home test A. Content-wise, we have completed 100 unique levels across 4 uniquely differently themed chapters. At the moment, we're working on advertisement video sequences, art for the app stores, French, German, and Spanish localizations, also in-game store and the pricing for it, and the concept of the in-game store, as well as the content for the next upcoming 5th chapter. Next, a few words about our team. Our team consists of 4 people. 3 of us are very experienced with over 15 years of experience in the industry. We will not bore you by telling about the exact experiences, but if you're interested, we'll be happy to elaborate on that. The 4th team member, Vera, is a young artist, and you already had a chance to see the quality of the work. We are ready for rapid and quick increase of the team size. We've got a great pool of developers and 3D and 2D artists that will be able and are ready to join us at any time. Most of them we do know personally and have previously discussed such possibilities with them. In the nearest future, we're also ready to hire a project manager with good English or French, who will likely be the main point of communication between us and the partners. And we do already have a few candidates which are lined up for that. Next, so what we expect from our partners. Most of all, we are interested in traffic and then distribution of the project in the app stores. We're ready and open for different partnership proposals, from releasing the game under the publisher's umbrella or branding to step-by-step financing of the project by the investors. We are definitely prepared to develop a step-by-step scaling up plan, which will define at which market metrics or indicators the project will and should advance, go on to the next level of financing, or possibly increase traffic acquisition. That's all we had for today, and thank you for your attention and time, and we will be ready to take any questions, and hopefully I will be able to also interpret for Max. Thank you.
Thank you, Konstantin. That was a very interesting pitch, and we enjoyed it. Erija, do you have any questions?
Yeah.
Yes, you have.
Yes, I do have. A quick question. I really want to understand your marketing strategy, if you can share that.
Хотелось бы понять маркетинговую стратегию.
Маркетинговая стратегия будет строиться на free-to-play модели. В игре будет, в игре будут просматриваться рекламные ролики игроками, в игре будут продаваться бустеры. И для того, чтобы игроку было комфортно играть и продолжать двигаться по контенту, то есть ему придется делать небольшие платежи.
Okay, so it's mostly a free-to-play model. There are planned, first of all, advertisement videos that will be shown in the game. Next, the ability to purchase the boosters. And then in order to effectively advance in the game, the player will sometimes have to perform micropayments.
Конкретно по маркетинговой стратегии у нас еще нет. Вот именно чистый маркетинг. Мы готовы
Purely in the marketing sense, we don't currently have a defined strategy, but we are ready to to look at various proposals and choose a strategy that fits us the best.
Yeah. So instead of probably Google Ads and going for maybe Meta, for this kind of game, what I can propose, try to check the LinkedIn. That works best to get attraction initially if you're talking about social media. I'll go slow because you need to translate, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Значит, вместо Google рекламы хотелось бы предложить рекламу от Meta. И также, возможно, проводить маркетинг игры через social media, через LinkedIn, потому что, на взгляд Ариджита, это будет эффективнее.
One more thing that if you look at South Korean gaming market, the kind of game that you have created, I've been watching the Korean game and game development market for quite a long number of years now. These kind of game can work very well with their community. It's really fast and they can adopt it very, very well. The kind of gameplay as well as objects that you have created, it might attract a good number of audience from that particular market. And also, I would love to add markets like Vietnam, Philippines Island, and southeast part of Africa. It can bring you a lot of user, a continuous structured user base can yield towards a better result of subscription. Maybe you can think of it. I can go on with several different inputs, specifically on making the deck, but I guess due to time, I'll skip a little bit. But these are my initial feedback when I'm actually watching your pitch in the first time. Yeah.
Thank you. В первую очередь, рекомендация посмотреть на южнокорейский рынок, потому что игровая комьюнити на этом рынке наиболее вероятно будет привлечена яркими моделями и быстрым геймплеем. Также стоит обратить внимание на рынки Вьетнама, Филиппин, Таиланда и, возможно, юго-восточную часть Африки, которая может привлечь значительное количество игроков. Thank you for your feedback. That's pretty valuable suggestions. Sorry, you're muted.
Sorry. If needed, I can definitely connect you with the community players. Feel free to write to me. I will try to do a soft introduction. Maybe you guys can take these things forward with them. It might happen that you can have a partnership with their local community, if that helps you.
Thank you. Предлагается возможность связаться с Ариджитом и получить контакты локальных игровых комьюнити, с которыми потенциально возможны партнерские отношения в этих регионах.
Да, хорошо, спасибо.
Also, I wanted to add that we've shared Ergin's email in the group chat, so you can find it there.
Thank you.
Good luck. Good luck for you again.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for your presentation. We're looking forward to seeing your project succeed. So keep rocking it. And yeah, thank you. I guess this was the last speech for today. So congrats. that was the last one. Arijit, thank you very much for your valuable feedbacks, for all the experience you've shared, for all tips, trick and tricks, everything you shared today, and all your questions. We are happy that you joined us during this global game speech. And I guess the next word should be said by Stanislav. But unmute you.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Irina, for this amazing hosting this tonight's event. And thanks, Rigid, for joining us as a mentor. Your insights were truly powerful, and I am sure that developers, I highly appreciate them. So, and to all of you, thanks so much for joining today, and thanks for joining Global Game Speech. A big thanks to our sponsor, Platinum sponsor, Triple Dragon, Gold sponsor, Amazon Web Services, gold sponsor Poki, game silver sponsor Tilt, silver sponsor, and bronze sponsor Assemble. So thanks for joining today, and we're moving constantly to the next day, the second day of Global Games Pitch. Tomorrow will be a really amazing day with all the game developers presenting their games. We have a huge, vast list of amazing games coming up. Feel free to be active on the platform. You still can connect, chat each other, post new posts to GDBAY Space, our new tool. Feel free to explore it, and I hope you like it. So thanks so much. I sent you positive vibes and my biggest hugs. So have a nice evening, and see you soon. Have a good one.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.